The research station hung suspended in the cold, dark expanse of space, a metallic beacon of human scientific exploration. Jaewon Park sat quietly in his laboratory, his fingers dancing across holographic screens filled with complex biological data. Outside the reinforced windows, distant stars flickered like tiny pinpricks of hope against the infinite darkness. A sudden vibration ran through the station's metal corridors. Jaewon looked up, his dark eyes catching a reflection of movement. The station's automated system had already alerted him to an incoming alien vessel, a rare occurrence in this remote sector of space. The doors to his research wing slid open with a soft pneumatic hiss. Standing there was a massive alien figure, easily 3 times the height of an average human. His scaled skin shimmered with iridescent colors that seemed to change with every movement. Behind him, pushed in a sleek metallic wheelchair, was a young female alien who appeared completely motionless. "Human scientist," the alien baron's voice rumbled like distant thunder. "I have a gift for you." Jaewon raised an eyebrow, his scientific curiosity immediately piqued. He knew diplomatic protocols demanded a certain level of polite engagement with alien visitors, especially from such a powerful collective. The alien baron's massive hand pushed the wheelchair forward. The young female inside didn't move, didn't react. Her body seemed rigid, almost frozen in place. Her eyes, however, were different. They burned with an intensity that seemed to contradict her physical stillness. "She is my daughter," the baron announced, his tone dripping with a mixture of disgust and dismissal. "Broken, useless to our civilization. Consider her a research specimen, human." Jaewon approached slowly, professional respect etched across his face. He knew showing any sign of pity or shock would be considered an insult in most alien cultural exchanges. Instead, he observed carefully. The young female's neural implants were visible, delicate silver threads that seemed to trace intricate patterns across her scalp. Her muscle structure, though seemingly paralyzed, showed signs of complex genetic modifications. Something about her seemed different. "What is her name?" Jaewon asked, his voice calm and professional. "Haye Rim," the baron responded curtly. "She cannot communicate. She cannot move. She is essentially a living data point, nothing more." But Jaewon noticed something the baron didn't, a slight movement in her fingers, a micro-expression that flickered across her eyes. She was aware, more than aware. She was processing everything. The baron seemed eager to complete this transaction. With a dismissive wave of his massive hand, he placed several data crystals on a nearby surface. "Medical records, genetic history. Consider it a professional courtesy." Before Jaewon could respond, the alien baron turned and walked away, his massive footsteps echoing through the sterile corridor. The station's automated systems tracked his movement, doors opening and closing in a rehearsed dance of technological precision. Jaewon was left alone with Haye Rim. He rolled the wheelchair closer to his primary research station. Her eyes followed. Him, not with weakness but with an intelligence that seemed to pierce through his professional demeanor. "Hello, Haye Rim," he said softly, switching on his translation matrix. "I think we have much to discuss." A single finger on her right hand twitched, just enough to be noticed, just enough to suggest that everything the alien baron believed about her might be fundamentally wrong. The research station continued its silent orbit, carrying within its walls a potential scientific discovery that could change everything humans understood about disability, potential, and the very nature of intelligence itself. Outside, stars continued their eternal dance, silent witnesses to a moment that would soon become something extraordinary. Jaewon Park smiled. His research was about to get very interesting. The laboratory hummed with soft electronic sounds as Jaewon carefully positioned scanning equipment around Haye Rim's motionless body. Advanced medical holographic screens flickered to life, displaying intricate neural maps that seemed to dance with complex patterns. Initial scans revealed something extraordinary. Where most medical professionals would have seen a paralyzed patient, Jaewon noticed a remarkable biological system working in ways no one had ever documented before. Haye Rim's neural pathways were not damaged. They were adapting. Each time, the scanner passed over her brain. New connections sparked and rearranged themselves. It was like watching a living computer rewire its own circuit board in real time. Her genetic structure contained unique markers that suggested an incredible evolutionary mechanism. Fascinating, J1 muttered, zooming into microscopic view of her neural networks. Hiram's eyes tracked his movements. Though her body remained still, her gaze was sharp, intelligent. She understood everything happening around her. The slight movement of her right eye muscle confirmed her active awareness. J1 began running comparative analyses. Her genetic structure showed remarkable plasticity, ability to change and adapt far beyond standard biological limitations. Where other organisms would break, her system was designing alternative pathways. He pulled up medical records left by the alien Baron. The documentation was clinical, cold, describing Hiram as a non-functional biological unit. But J1 saw something different. He saw potential. Her muscle tissues, though seemingly inactive, contained microscopic nanostructures that suggested a complex communication system. These weren't just muscle fibers. They were sophisticated biological computers waiting to be activated. Blood tests revealed another shocking discovery. Her cellular regeneration rate was extraordinary. Damage that would permanently disable other organisms was being constantly repaired and optimized by her internal systems. "You're not broken," J1 spoke softly, more to himself than to Hiram. "You're developing." A single tear rolled down Hiram's cheek, the first voluntary movement she had made since arriving at the station. It was a silent confirmation of her understanding. J1 began preparing more advanced diagnostic tools. He needed to understand the full extent of her unique biological system. Every scan, every test revealed layers of complexity that challenged everything known about biological adaptation. Her nervous system wasn't just different, it was revolutionary. Where human bodies would create scar tissue, her system was designing alternative neural pathways, signals that couldn't travel one route were finding completely new ways to communicate. The research station's computer system struggled to process the incoming data. Algorithms designed to analyze medical information were being pushed beyond their standard parameters. Hiram's biological system was writing its own rules. Hours passed. J1 worked meticulously, documenting every discovery. He realized he wasn't just studying a patient. He was witnessing a potential evolutionary breakthrough. By midnight, the laboratory was filled with holographic displays showing intricate biological maps. Each projection told a story of adaptation, of a living system that refused to be limited by traditional understanding of disability or functionality. Hiram watched silently, her eyes reflecting the complex holographic displays. She understood, more than anyone would have believed possible. J1 looked up and met her gaze. In that moment, a silent communication passed between them. She wasn't just a research subject. She was a partner in understanding something profound about life's ability to adapt and survive. The research station continued its silent journey through space, carrying within its walls a discovery that could potentially rewrite scientific understanding of biological potential. Outside, distant stars continued their eternal dance, unaware that inside this small laboratory, a remarkable story of human curiosity and alien potential was just beginning to unfold. J1 smiled. His greatest scientific adventure was about to begin. The workshop buzzed with electric energy as J1 carefully assembled the experimental exoskeleton. Metallic components gleamed under bright laboratory lights, each piece designed with meticulous precision. Surrounding him were holographic projections of Hiram's complex neural mapping. This wasn't just another mobility device. This was a revolutionary neural interface system that would challenge everything known about biomechanical engineering. Weeks of continuous research had led to this moment. J1 had discovered that Hiram's unique biological structure required a completely different approach to neural connectivity. Traditional exoskeletons would fail. This design needed to be a living, breathing extension of her own body. The primary frame consisted of lightweight nanocarbon materials that could reshape themselves dynamically. Microscopic sensors embedded within each component would communicate directly with HFY's neural pathways, creating a symbiotic relationship between machine and biological system. "First test sequence," J1 whispered, his fingers dancing across holographic control panels. Initial connection attempts failed. The exoskeleton's systems couldn't synchronize with HFY's unique neural network. Most researchers would have given up. But J1 saw this as an opportunity, not a setback. He redesigned the neural interface, creating adaptive algorithms that could learn and modify themselves in real time. Each failure became a new piece of information, another step towards understanding her extraordinary biological system. On the 17th attempt, something remarkable happened. The exoskeleton's components began to pulse with a soft blue light. Microscopic connections started forming between the device and HFY's neural network. It wasn't just connecting, it was communicating. HFY's right hand twitched, then her fingers moved. Slowly, deliberately. The alien Baron's medical records had described her as permanently paralyzed. Those records were now completely irrelevant. J1 watched in silent amazement as the exoskeleton responded to her neural signals. Each movement became smoother, more precise. The device wasn't forcing movement, it was learning her body's unique communication language. By midnight, HFY could move her hand with unprecedented precision. Her fingers traced complex mathematical equations on a nearby digital pad, something she had never been able to do before. The research station's computer systems struggled to process the incoming data. What was happening defied current scientific understanding of neural interfaces and biological adaptation. External sensors detected the breakthrough. Research logs automatically began documenting every microscopic change, every neural connection. This wasn't just a medical achievement. This was a potential revolution in understanding biological potential. J1 realized they had created more than a mobility device. They had developed a living, adaptive neural interface that could potentially help millions of individuals across different species and biological systems. HFY looked at him, her eyes filled with an emotion that transcended human understanding. She wasn't just a test subject anymore. She was a partner in a scientific breakthrough that would change everything. The exoskeleton continued to adapt, its nanocarbon components reshaping themselves with each neural signal. What had started as a seemingly impossible challenge was now a testament to human creativity and alien biological potential. Outside the research station's windows, distant stars continued their silent dance, unaware that inside this small laboratory, a remarkable transformation was taking place. By dawn, HFY could move her entire arm. Her neural signals were becoming stronger, more coordinated. The exoskeleton was no longer just a device. It had become an extension of her own biological system. J1 smiled. Their journey was just beginning. The research station continued its silent orbit, carrying within its metallic walls a discovery that would soon challenge everything known about disability, potential, and the extraordinary capacity of life to adapt and overcome limitations. One small movement at a time, they were rewriting scientific understanding. The scientific conference hall buzzed with nervous energy. Representatives from 12 different galactic civilizations sat in carefully arranged seating, their various biological forms a testament to the diversity of intelligent life. HFY entered the room. Her neural adaptive exoskeleton moved with fluid precision. Each step was calculated, deliberate. Gone was the paralyzed girl the alien Baron had dismissed. Now she represented something entirely different. Potential unleashed. A quantum communication challenge had stumped scientific communities for decades. Multiple civilizations had attempted solutions, failing repeatedly. The problem involved creating a communication network that could transmit information across extreme quantum distances without signal degradation. Most believed it was impossible. HFY didn't just believe differently. She knew. Her neural interface allowed her to process complex mathematical equations faster than any supercomputer. Where traditional approaches failed, her unique biological system saw patterns others couldn't, Comprehend. J1 watched from the side, his heart racing. Months of research had led to this moment. Hiram's fingers moved across holographic displays. Mathematical equations danced, transformed, recreated themselves. Her brain processed information at speeds that defied conventional understanding. What seemed complex to others was simple mathematics to her. The conference hall grew silent. Alien scientists leaned forward, their various sensory organs focused entirely on her presentation. Some looked confused, others appeared genuinely shocked. Within 30 minutes, Hiram had not just solved the quantum communication problem, she had redesigned the entire theoretical framework of interstellar communication, her solution combined. Human creative thinking with her species' advanced computational abilities. It was a bridge between biological intelligence and technological innovation. The alien baron, sitting in the back of the conference hall, watched in stunned silence. The daughter he had once considered worthless was now rewriting scientific understanding. Quantum. Physicists from different civilizations began comparing her solution. Initial calculations confirmed what seemed impossible. Her approach worked perfectly. Signal transmission remained stable across previously unimaginable distances. Impossible, muttered one senior scientist. But it was possible, and Hiram had just proved it. Conference administrators requested multiple verification processes. Each test confirmed her breakthrough. What had seemed like an unsolvable problem was now a solved mathematical equation. J1 felt proud. Not just as a scientist, but as someone who had seen potential where others saw only limitation. News of the breakthrough spread quickly. Research stations across multiple star systems began studying her solution. Universities requested detailed documentation. Scientific journals prepared special editions to discuss her work. The neural adaptive exoskeleton continued moving smoothly. It was no longer just a mobility device. It had become a symbol of technological innovation and biological potential. Hiram's presentation concluded. The conference hall erupted in a standing ovation, a remarkable display of respect across different species and biological forms. The alien baron approached her after the presentation. His previous dismissive attitude had completely transformed. He looked at his daughter with something new in his eyes. Respect. You have brought honor to our civilization, he said softly. Hiram simply smiled. Her journey from a dismissed, paralyzed daughter to a groundbreaking scientist was complete. J1 joined her, their partnership a testament to what could be achieved when human compassion met extraordinary potential. The research station continued its journey through space, carrying within its walls a story of transformation, innovation, and the incredible power of seeing beyond apparent limitations. Stars outside continued their silent dance, witnesses to a moment that would change scientific understanding forever. The new research institute stood as a gleaming monument to scientific collaboration. Located on a neutral space station at the crossroads of multiple galactic civilizations, it represented something more than just a research facility. It was a symbol of hope. Hiram walked through the main corridor, her neural adaptive exoskeleton moving with perfect precision. Around her, scientists from 12 different species worked together, their research boards filled with complex diagrams and breakthrough theories. The Adaptive Potential Institute, as it was officially named, had become the most prestigious research center in known space, and at its heart was the partnership between Hiram and J1. Their first major project focused on developing adaptive technologies for beings with various physical limitations. What had started as a personal journey was now transforming how civilizations approached disability, potential, and biological innovation. The alien baron, who once dismissed his daughter, now sat on the Institute's governing board. His presence was a silent admission of his previous mistakes. Every time he looked at Hiram, his eyes reflected a mixture of pride and wonder. Research teams worked on projects that seemed impossible just years ago, neural interfaces that could help species recover from devastating injuries. Communication, systems that bridged biological differences, technologies that saw potential where others saw limitation. J1 reviewed the latest research logs. Their work had already helped thousands of individuals across multiple civilizations. Species that had previously been considered unable to recover from certain injuries were now finding new hope. A young researcher approached Hyrim. She was from a species completely different from both human and Hyrim's original civilization. Her body was unlike anything J1 had ever seen, crystalline, almost translucent. "Your work saved my entire community," the researcher said, her communication device translating her complex biological language. Hyrim smiled. Words were unnecessary. The connection was deeper than language. The Institute's annual conference attracted the most brilliant minds from across the galaxy. What had started as a small research project was now a beacon of scientific collaboration and hope. Outside the station's massive windows, multiple spacecraft moved carefully. Each represented a different civilization, a different approach to understanding life's potential. They moved in carefully choreographed patterns, a visual representation of the collaboration happening inside. Funding came from multiple sources. Governments, private research foundations, and collaborative scientific bodies all supported the Institute's work. The economic impact was significant, but the human impact was immeasurable. J1 sometimes reflected on their journey. From a simple research station to a galactic-level research institute, their path had been anything but ordinary. A dismissed, paralyzed alien girl and a curious human scientist had changed everything. The alien Baron approached during the evening reception. His massive form contrasted with the delicate institute surroundings. "You have done more than I could have ever imagined," he told Hyrim. She simply nodded. Her journey was about potential, not recognition. Research teams continued their work late into the night. Holographic displays showed complex biological models. Mathematical equations danced across screens. The promise of new discoveries hung in the air. A memorial wall displayed photographs of individuals helped by their technologies. Each image told a story of transformation, of potential discovered, and limitations overcome. The space station continued its journey, carrying within its walls a testament to what could be achieved when compassion met scientific curiosity. Hyrim looked at J1. No words were needed. Their partnership had changed everything. Outside, stars continued their eternal dance, silent witnesses to a story of hope, potential, and the incredible journey of two individuals who refused to accept limitations. The EWAP Adaptive Potential Institute stood as a beacon of possibility, a reminder that true potential knows no boundaries.